my gosh, thank you so much. Look at all these people. Raise your hand if you were involved in this project in some way. I see some hands not raised. There's so many people. We got photographers. We got installation artists. There's so many people who are involved in this project. So just a big round of applause for all the people who are involved. So there's an audience mic somewhere. You might not even need it. It's just not that big of a room. Okay, great. Do you have any questions for us? Anybody have any questions? Any thoughts? Any reactions?
I think that was great.
Amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Amazing. I like how you merge like mental health and art, right? Like I just think it's beautifully done. Yeah, it's like it's a good way to access and talk about feelings. Thank you.
Yeah, this is very, very inspiring for younger children growing up in the area and being able to see their work. I think it's great what you guys are doing. I want to know more and talk to you more about it. Yeah.
So, how do you feel now that the entire project, the exhibition and all the thing has closed itself into its final completion? Like what was your feeling after all the hecticness was over?
Tired, right? Well, there's a really big sense of relief that, you know, this took over a year to like plan out and finally come to fruition. It went through a lot of stages. Yeah, do you want to continue that?
Yeah, my first thought was like, oh, it's not over. Like we're doing a project at Amherst High School now. We are working in Holyoke with the Children's Museum on expanding this initiative. So like while we were painting this, we were also, some of the footage of the students painting is actually from Amherst Summit Academy. You probably noticed that. You were like, oh, that's not our school. So we had to do it, you know, we had to do what we had to do. But we were actually like doing a smaller version of this while this was going on. So my answer is just that it never ends. It never ends. But I felt relief temporarily. Yeah.
I believe this is your first time producing a film like this. Can you talk about what that process was like? What was new with that?
Yeah. So it was really interesting. So we all like live in the age of Instagram where we're trying to document our work all the time. And it was incredibly helpful to have somebody else come in and help document the work. But we were also like trying to get footage before we had the funding to make a documentary, knowing that we were going to make a documentary. And I think we're all pretty familiar with like being in process and being like, wait. We need to film. You know, we need to get this moment here. And sometimes we couldn't do that. Like at the paint party, like there was just so much going on. We didn't get any film. We were like, okay, we'll have to make that up. So just that challenge of like documenting while you're doing it. But it gave me a lot of pride to know that like nobody told us to make a documentary. We just were like, this is an important story to tell. And so that process was like really believing in the work, you know, and that felt really good.
I'm curious what brought you guys to this project and how you feel like it is situated in the context of murals and the way in which murals are produced normally.
Yeah, well, I can start with how I kind of not got drawn into this, but drew myself into this. The central theme of my body of work is mental health and how it tends to get underrepresented in communities of color, and you combine that with, you know, Sharon's ability to create these lush purple and orange realities where fish fly in the sky and pigeons swim in the ocean. And yeah, you get these like, wonderful, images of like what could be if we started taking mental health seriously. And I think, we just figured we intertwined a lot in that respect. Sorry if that didn't make sense.
Fish don't swim in the sky, so it didn't make any sense.
They do according to you.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't make that up. The students did. Yeah. Well, one thing I want to say is that Ryan and I met through a mural training program in Springfield as a part of the Commonwealth Mural Training Institute. That's how I met Self and Gabby, AJ, and other artists who are involved in this. So we all met because some other really awesome people in the community thought that it's important to train artists and for us to get to know each other. So we met from another program. And to answer the question about like how did mental health become a theme, I think that'll become more apparent when we go upstairs and you can see my art and Ryan's art and get a sense for how we interpret the world through art. That's probably the best answer I have. I think the themes that I explore in my art and the way that I work as an artist are really about sharing the most inner thoughts that we think we're the only people to ever have had that thought, to put those on a giant wall or to put those in a piece of artwork that can be in somebody's home makes us feel more seen, because we all have all the same emotions, regardless of how free we feel to express it or to process it. So, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Beautiful documentary. Thank you for presenting it. I really enjoy that the perspective is focused on the dreaming potential and the healing potential of children. And I wanted to then ask you both, as makers and as producers of this film, what specifically your dreams are. Also, maybe to like make it a little bit less general, but like to zoom in. What is your dream for this project and this initiative? How do you see it growing or moving in the future?
All right. Yeah. Thanks for asking that. That's such like a thoughtful question. I'll try my best to answer it. So I can answer most easily the question about where I would like to see for the future of this initiative. So at the end of the documentary, I know it was really fast, but I said that this is an open source initiative. And I think that's really important because I want it to grow beyond the work that we can do. And that's why we made a documentary, so that if there's art teachers or people who already have the setup in any scenario to do a project like this, they can replicate it because they have a pretty good idea of how we did it. So that's one of my thoughts, is that I see this expanding beyond us, and taking different forms and looking different ways and having different artists involved, and that's really exciting to me. And then the other question was like, that was the question, right? Yeah, what we dream. Yeah. I'm excited for it to expand. I'm like really. We've gotten so much momentum since we started this project. Like, just to give you an idea of like what has happened. When we had first started this project, we were trying to raise like $30,000. And then we had a funder who we were talking to, and they were like, you should come to us. You should come to us with $100,000 ask, because this is really like, this has a lot of legs and you can expand it beyond this one school. And so we asked them for $350,000 and they gave us $100,000. And then we made a documentary, and myself and Alyssa, who works with us, have spent the year developing this particular initiative. And this is really like the main initiative of the Color Collaborative, to last for years and years and years. And so, yeah, just to give you an idea of like, I think that this is much bigger than us. And I don't care if other people use the name. I don't care if other people want to do this project and like bring it to wherever they are. I'm confident that we'll be able to, you know, spread it with ourselves, but I'm excited for it to grow beyond us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's more or less my thoughts as well. Yeah, like I touched on in the doc, we didn't have this as part of the curriculum when I was going there, and then when I come back and we're doing this project, there's art therapists here, and yeah, I thought that was totally cool because I had no idea what an art therapist was, and I just think we need more of them, not just in this area, but statewide or, God willing, nationwide, because, yeah, it would help a lot more. Like, you got to get them while they're young, so they're more comfortable expressing themselves throughout their entire lives.
Maybe like 1 or 2 more questions and then we'll go upstairs. Anybody? If anybody has any?
What was your favorite part?
This might sound weird, but the install was actually the most fun for me.
That's not true. Not true. You didn't seem happy.
No, well, minus the heat, it was, yeah, it was, you know, good to see just everything that we had worked so hard to try to put together actually get put together, you know?
Install was fun. My favorite part was collaborating with other artists. So there was like some clips of us in the studio working. Nellie's in the back. Nellie painted on the project. Mai is here. They painted on the project. Ryan painted on the project. Ronnie, I don't know where Ronnie's at, but Ronnie painted on the project. And then we had all the students paint on the project at the school. So like how many hands painted this mural? Like that collaboration was just really fun. And it's totally my dream to be able to be in the studio more often with artists painting. So that was my favorite part. Yeah.
Aside from like the financial contributions, what's the best way to support the initiative?
Oh, that's a good question.
I would love it if you shared this documentary with a person when you go home. This is my call to action to you all. Really though, like share it if you can think of, like I'm just gonna give you all a second to think. Let's just take a second and think about one person that you know, there's no limits to who it could be, who you think would think this was interesting. Just give you a second, just think about it. So send this when you go home to somebody. That would be great. I mean, we made this and we're already doing other projects. Like we can't send this to everybody, you know, like we're busy. So yeah, go ahead.
Is it online? Like,
It's going to be online on YouTube. It'll be right on our website, like the first thing on our website. But we had to wait till this event, you know, like we were to do it tomorrow. So yeah. Just share it with people. I think that's a really good way to share the initiative and to support. And go see the mural. It's at JFK Middle School. There's also like the back of the school is a rec center. There's walking trails. There's tennis courts. There's a public pool. So anybody can go there. You don't have to be like, I'm not a middle schooler. Like you're not. None of you are. We didn't get that crowd tonight. So yeah.
Get a Substack as well?
I got a Substack. I do. I have a newsletter. Sign up outside. And like you already did it. You all are the top dogs. Like you came here tonight. Thank you so much. Okay, one more anything, and then we're gonna head upstairs to Studio 228. I think we'll just like head in a crowd, like take a tamale, check out the art. Yeah. Go ahead, Gilad.
I know y'all do this regularly, but I'm curious from this project, did anything come up that really you feel like has impacted your own personal art practice?
It's made me want to go like larger with my pieces. It's given me the confidence to like make, bigger, more, I guess the word is unflinching subject matter.
Yeah. I would say that's like the question that you asked about, like, how did it inspire our individual processes? Like, there were so many moments of inspiration, especially during the design process, during the installation process. Like, everything was so hands-on, and that's why I do this work, because like at the end of the day, like, I just want to make art, and doing this is so inspiring. It's so inspiring. Like, at the one moment that was probably like the most, whoa, this is crazy. I was like, is anybody seeing this? Is when we were installing, and then we had this big paint spill. And then somebody was like, okay, I'll wipe it out. And I was like, no, you can't wipe out like paint that's on a wall. And then it just got bigger. And then we were like, okay, well, the mural's done. And now we need to like paint a whole nother section. And then I just like started going, and I was literally collaging extra pieces of the mural onto the wall, like, and being like, what do you guys think? Should I move it to the left, like up on the scaffold? Should I move it to the right? Like, and I was like, even though it was like, it's a collage mural, like we're collaging in real time. Like that moment for me, like, was everything. I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. Like, I'm making a massive collage, on a school. So, yeah. Let's go upstairs. Thank you, everybody, for coming.